is here, and do you know what I realized?
You have questions.
Well, I didn't ask the questions, but a couple things. One, the last time you and I sat and filmed together, and it wasn't
was the Candy Cane Challenge.
No, and it wasn't a Candy Cane Challenge. I'm pretty sure it was when we sat down and filmed the birth story. It's been a long time since we did non-Candy Cane related content.
Linked in the description below.
We used to film fairly frequently, I would say. We used to do a lot of like games where you would like guess things about makeup and stuff. But we did ask for some questions on my community tab and in my Instagram stories. And this is very similar to our podcast. We could talk about our podcast really quick before we get into this. We have started a podcast many years ago now. It was like early 2020 that we started it, so it was nearly 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah, 3 years.
It's just us sitting down and chatting. We just have like a very casual podcast where we ask each other 5 random questions and have a conversation throughout it. So we mainly recorded it when I was pregnant, and we just brought it back a couple months ago. We record bi-weekly now, so 2 podcasts a month. Pods by the Berk. This guy runs the Instagram account. We'll link that down below. And I guess now we can get into some questions. They are not too juicy, don't worry.
Is that your new thing?
I just need to do something with my hands. We're representing the cats tonight. So our first question is favorite go-to date night ideas for staying in and going out.
Like both in one?
No, like what are our favorite date night ideas for that we do for both staying in versus going out?
We have, is it Pillsbury?
We do. We have like
Pillsbury, the
pre-made like dough where you can just like pop a cookie in the oven.
Yeah, what are they called? They're not bricks.
They're
blocks,
just like
cubes.
Cookie dough balls.
We just have them in our fridge.
The Pillsbury is exponentially better than the Nestle ones we had before.
And you can just pop them in.
We have wild date nights.
We'll watch TV show or play, we used to play card games. It's fun sometimes.
We did that a lot during the pandemic though, not so much now that we have kids.
Popper Jr.
We mainly watch like a TV show. Like if there's, basically like when there's like a new Disney Plus show, we'll watch that religiously.
Well, we played when we had the power outage that one night. We played
Blocus.
Blocus. Come at me in the comments.
Mainly we right now are watching the OC. I'm rewatching. You're watching for the first time, so no spoilers. It's basically watching TV and eating snacks. Well, we've kind of, do you consider when you make us chicken steak sandwiches like a date night thing?
Sure. I make food.
So it's either like food and TV. That's our date nights.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to bake in this household. But I have freedom to cook. I cook omelets. I've cooked you an omelet for dinner once.
It was breakfast.
Many times. That was breakfast?
Yeah, it was the morning after Phoebe stayed over at my parents' house. Date nights like out though, not very frequent.
So our suggestions are food.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, honestly, we don't really go out, but when we do, we usually get Mexican food.
Yeah.
Somewhere or another. Are you ready for the next one?
I guess.
Okay. If you could change one thing about the other, what would it be?
The other what?
Like, what would I change about you and what would you change about me? One thing. Tread lightly.
I just wish that you could see yourself the way I do. I think you're so beautiful.
Oh, God.
And that you're so hard on yourself. I wish you wouldn't be so hard on yourself. I think it's something nice to say. I said something really nice about you.
Why would I change something nice?
Turn it into it's like an interview. Like in an interview, you say, oh well, my weaknesses are working hard and being a team player. I'm just too much. And then you're like, but really, those aren't weaknesses. Boom. Ah.
I wish you weren't such a procrastinator.
You're horrible.
Well, it would help you feel better.
You're better at complimenting me.
Because if you didn't procrastinate so much, you'd have more time to do the things you want to do. You spend so much time procrastinating, you don't get to do things you want to do. Okay, if you would have had a boy, what would you have named him?
Was it Thor?
So we didn't really have
disrespect to the people that
we didn't have a boy name that we had settled on. Kind of when they said it's a girl, we both kind of let out a sigh of relief because we had not landed on a boy name that we liked at that point.
We had a sort of an unwritten rule that we didn't want to choose anybody's name that we know, and being a swim coach for 8 years?
Too long.
That I had come across a lot of kids that, you know, have different names, obviously. It seemed like every name that we had was reminding me of one of my swimmers, for good or bad. I just didn't want... That was just like a major chunk, right?
Yeah, I mean, you did say you had a swimmer named Phoebe, but she wasn't... She was
the
worst.
I follow her on Instagram.
Well, no, I just like couldn't settle on a boy name I liked, and I was kind of relieved when I didn't have to go through that process when we had already kind of had Phoebe Luna chosen. All right, tell us.
So what was the answer?
There was none. We didn't have a name chosen. Like we literally, I couldn't even tell you what the pretend name was because it never existed. Tell us more about the toddler class you took.
How do we say it without spoiling?
No, I think like it kind of had different sections where, you know, it started a lot talking about like toddler brain development, and there were different sections, like the big chunks mainly were like how to handle tantrums and also how to kind of try to prevent. You can't 100% try to prevent. You can't 100% prevent, but you can try.
I remember when we were, here's a good example. We just went to get a COVID shot for her, remember? And it was how many months ago? It was a while ago. We went to get a COVID shot, and the way that they had it set up was you basically, like, everyone, there was a ton of people there, and they would just kind of file in and out, and, like, they would go in, get a shot, and come out, but you had to wait, like, 15 minutes after to, like, see if, I don't know, you died or, I don't know what happened.
I think it's if you had an allergic reaction.
Allergic reaction, whatever. So, I remember we were waiting, as we were waiting there was one kid that was, like, freaking out. He was so upset at his mom.
He was very upset that his mom had basically deceived and tricked him into coming to the doctor to get a shot instead of just telling him that he was going to get a shot that day. And she kept saying, well, then you would have worried. I prevented you from worrying about it. Like, that was her argument with him. And he was like, you could tell how betrayed he was by his mom.
Yeah.
And a lot of the course is more so not about doing that and more about how to prepare. And constantly, like, going over a plan. Like, we're going to do this, 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 and then this.
And this is why that's okay. And this is why, like, you're constantly telling them and reminding them and explaining, this is why we're going to do this. This is why we're going to get a shot. Yes, it's going to hurt initially, but it's okay because mommy says so. I'm daddy. Daddy says so. And, you know, there's doctors and you need to get a shot because, like, you explain it to them. And that way, they're leading up to it. They feel calm, cool, collected, whatever, confident and ready to go, and they get it done, and then you kind of move on after that.
So,
and there's trust.
So the whole course, kind of like each of those sections we were talking about, have like different portions within those sections of different like scenarios of how to handle different types of situations. And then the end of the course, which we technically haven't finished it goes into like specifics and how to take those things you learned in the beginning and apply them to like specific situations. Like a big example is like leaving, like your parent leaving.
And basically, I mean, hopefully I'm not, you know, ruining the course or whatever, but it's basically like you give them a hug and you say, it's okay, you're allowed to be upset, but mommy's going to the grocery store and, you know, you can cry and I'm here, but, you know, we're going to play games and she's going to be back soon.
I will say a lot of it is building trust too. Yeah. Like if I tell her we're not going to do this now, we're going to do this later, you need to do it later, or else they're going to associate doing something later with, no, I'm never going to get
later,
it.
Right. Later like, turns into it's never going to happen.
You shouldn't lie because then that is what is going to create more meltdowns because
it doesn't mean
that's
that
essentially saying no.
It's buy them a gift every time, but you can say we're going to, I don't know, like we have the tents. So it'd be like, we're gonna do this later. But like she goes crazy with these.
We wound up actually getting some really good advice with teeth brushing. Teeth brushing was kind of stressful for us.
Yeah.
We got a teeth brushing book. We got a feelings book. We got a visual timer. I used it yesterday when our soft pretzel was cooling down.
How did that go?
It seemed fine. I mean, it's hard because it was 1 minute and like the little blue in the 1 minute is so tiny.
I wish it worked for like seconds. Maybe there's a second.
There might be one.
Because then you can like actually see. Yeah, because you're like, okay, we're gonna be 1 minute, and you can like actually see the thing.
Well,
going,
I was like telling her, listen. I kept pointing my ears. I said, listen for the sound, and she would point to her ears. So we definitely got some interesting recommendations from it. If Scott could carry the next baby, would he?
Sure. Why not?
Being
I would love
pregnant
to.
sucks.
Yeah, I would love to experience it. I have been the husband, the significant other to someone that has carried a baby for, was it 9-10 months?
Too long.
And yeah, I mean, even knowing what, you know, that's going to be difficult and everything, yeah, what if given the opportunity?
I'll keep that in mind.
Part of being a family. It's like what I say about how, you know, Luigi's right here. That's why I keep looking over here. He had to only eat wet food for, it was a week, because Mario had surgery as his dental surgery, and that's part of being a family. Was it killing Luigi? Maybe mentally, but
He was not happy.
But no, he was fine, and now his schedule's back to normal. That's called being a family.
Okay.
Being a brother.
The next question is, what is your favorite part of the holiday season, like, and or like winter time, the colder parts of the year?
Wait, say it again?
So
what's
like
my favorite part of winter?
Holiday season, winter, like, I think it's like categorizing it together. Like, you can pick like holiday season or like winter things.
What's my favorite part?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm not getting this. What's my favorite part of that? Oh. Your birthday.
Oh, good God.
Is during this time.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to finish. I'm gonna need you to finish and try again while I answer. My answer would be, I like seeing how excited Phoebe gets about all the little things. Like, even her advent calendar every day, like even like she got a sticker the one day. It was just a little sticker this big, and she was so excited.
So you like the holidays?
Yeah. But what is my favorite part?
What's your favorite part? Oh,
Seeing
of the holiday. I thought you said of the winter time.
I said holiday and or winter.
That's why I missed it.
Yeah, just like seeing her excitement over like the little things, because I feel like there's like this awkward time between like childhood and like having a kid where like the holiday season seems like very like, I don't really know what to do anymore.
Me too.
Are you saying the same thing?
No.
Are you answering that you're choosing the same answer as me?
I love my daughter.
Okay, next. I'm gonna go with this one, might be specifically for me and not us. Does different makeup work better in the winter versus summer? What do you think?
Oh, definitely.
I'm gonna say yes to this because of how your skin naturally is in summer versus winter. Cold. Like this time of year, like I'm a lot drier. So I need to.
You don't need as much sunscreen. But there's always sun.
That's not what I mean.
You
like
don't need
when your skin is
you're not
dry.
awake as long.
You know what? You take it away. This is your question.
You're not awake as long. Just kidding. The sun isn't out as long. There you go. You can take it from here.
No. You answered
what I was saying before, I wasn't comparing pregnancy, because everyone's like, I wasn't comparing pregnancy to dental surgery. I was just saying, like, as a family.
No one was thinking that.
I just feel like everyone's, like, looking at me.
Okay.
Luigi's, like, staring at me. He's giving me eyes. He's like...
What is the most holiday meal you can think of?
The most holiday meal? What do you mean?
That's the question.
What is the most holiday meal?
I know what I have like a very specific answer in my head.
Like, is it kind of like when you say holiday meal, what do you think of? Or is it like describe a holiday meal? What a holiday meal means to you.
I'm just reading the words. You interpret it how you want.
I guess I initially, like when you said like what's the most, I would be like Thanksgiving is the most holiday meal.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers the question.
I was thinking specifically Christmas, Chinese food. Because we get Chinese food on Christmas. So I was thinking that was like a very like holiday meal to me because I can't eat Chinese very often, so I kind of save it for Christmas.
I'm very excited. I talked to your dad about that.
Wait, you talked to my dad about
I said
that?
I have to.
Okay.
We have a food share. Didn't I talk about this?
In the vlog.
With the
vlog.
vodka, yeah.
Okay, there's one last question. Not too many. We got one last one. What special...
Why are you so far over? I feel like I have to like keep going over.
Because I lean. What special things / traditions are you doing with Phoebe this holiday season?
What are we doing with her?
Well,
no, you're the schedule person. Go.
Well, we definitely got the advent calendar, so that's like a thing we're doing. That's her first like real advent calendar.
We're not doing the lights this year.
Yeah, we kind of are being a little bit more cautious about what we do because last year we did the drive-through lights and she really liked them, but like she was able to nap on the way there. She's not great in the car. She's not great at being contained. And it's $40 a car, and I just feel like...
Gas is also a lot more expensive.
True, but...
Crazily this year than it was last year.
It's more so the $40 per car.
Yeah.
There's a thing where like we do have our Sesame Place passes and we might go with my parents, but also like there's so little time left before the holidays and it's so cold at night. I don't know. I can't figure out yet if we're going to Sesame Place for their holiday thing. Other than that, like for Hanukkah, we're planning on doing more like early evening candle lighting. So it's not so close to like bedtime, which is like already hard to get her wound down at. So rather do something exciting a little bit before that.
Yeah, but if you do it at sunset's like 4. Anyway.
That's true. That's true. So it kind of works anyway. What else? Christmas Eve in the afternoon, we're gonna have both of our families over. That's something we haven't done before. Last year we went to your mom's house in the afternoon and had my family over at night, I think.
We did a cookie share.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna do something more here in the afternoon, especially because like on her occasional, hopefully always one nap schedule, her available time is a little bit more flexible than a year ago. We're going to my parents on Christmas. New Year's, probably nothing. Her birthday's the 4th of January, so it's basically part of the holiday season. Yeah, I mean, we don't have anything really big planned. I feel like she's still a little too...
You'll take a vacation that week.
Yeah, I feel like she's still a little too young to really do like traditions. You know, I was watching Jessica and Tyler's Vlogmas.
Oh yeah.
You haven't been watching it. And they were talking about Gigi, who's 4 now, and how she's kind of creating traditions for them, but being like something that she remembers from doing the year before, she'll be like, oh, well, we always do that. And like, that's kind of like how traditions I think are made. There's like kids remember what they like and they're like, oh, I want to do that again. So I think that's kind of how we'll start building traditions. I think it's a little too early.
She has to remember, oh yeah, why didn't we do we did this last year, why aren't we doing it again this year? Like, we can.
Yeah, and I think like even little things like if she sees something or wants to do something and she like expresses interest in wanting to do it, like then we would do stuff. But I don't know, she's still so little and she's not great when we're out. Not that she's not good, but she's difficult at this point right now.
Did we tell them about the boat?
I feel like I talked about the boat in a video. Yeah, we couldn't do something like, there's a place around here that does like a train ride. We couldn't do that. We did that when I was a kid. We can't do stuff like that. Even the zoo has a big light thing. But again, I think it's similar to Sesame Place where like it's cold at night. I don't think she's really gonna like it. Maybe when she's older. Yeah, it's not her stellar time of day after this. Well, she's like a werewolf.
Depending on who you ask. If you ask her, she's a child of the night.
She is. She is.
She's a child of the goodbye.
What?
Like, if we're trying to wind down, like, go to sleep, or trying to, like, leave a house or something, then she's, like, goes crazy. That was very much like me, now that I think about it.
Yes, she's very much your daughter.
I got wound up.
So I feel like we hit all the talking points.
Sweet.
So I hope you guys liked our Spilling the Tea Q&A. Maybe you can come back more than once a year, twice a year, if we count one video plus a candy cane challenge.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, we'll think of something.
I feel
like our energy is like
Depleted?
Depleted because it's been 2 rough nights in a row, I feel like, for different reasons, but yeah.
You just know she's gonna wake up any second.
I know. I keep thinking about that. So we're gonna go. As usual, thanks for stopping by my channel. If you're new here, click the subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I have my Instagram, his bagel Instagram, our podcast Instagram down below. You run 3 Instagram accounts. Give him a follow and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.